Hey guys, so recently Disney Theatricals Aladdin opened on the West End, and as you know I'm a huge Disney fan and a huge musical fan, so I had to go and see it and I loved it. It lived up to all of my ridiculously high expectations and it was just so good. So here's my review. Set and costume were stunning. It's one of the first things you notice really, because the curtain comes up, you can see the set, and then the dancers come on for Arabian Nights, and it was just beautiful really. And special shout out costume wise to Jasmine's attendants, who had the most beautiful dresses. They were this lovely shade of lilac, like, oh my gosh, you know I love purple, so yeah, lovely shade of lilac, and it was really long. And they were so glittery, it was almost like little Christmas lights flashing all over the place, but it was just really cool sequins. And I want it. I want that dress to just wear places. So I loved those dresses. I loved a lot of the costume and the set, both of which really fitted the aesthetic of the movie. So the visual transition from cartoon to stage was really smooth, really easy. You could clearly recognise what it had been based on. And I know it had already been on Broadway, so they'd already been able to perfect that, but I hadn't actually seen any video clips or any stills of the Broadway production, which is really odd. I don't know why I haven't, because I have for most musicals, but I didn't really know how like identical they were gonna go with it, and it was pretty much identical, which was really nice. It was really nice to see it all in the flesh. That sounds weird, but it was nice to kind of see it come to life. And the same with the songs. They were all played by like a live orchestra, and you know, Alan Menken's just the best composer, so being able to hear them played live was just incredible. Actually, talking of music, the two actors that play Aladdin and Jasmine were amazing. Like, I was a bit worried because I had heard the movie soundtrack so much that I'd be able to tell that they weren't the voice actors and it would put me off a bit. But when they sang, they just sounded so good, and they were like pretty much an exact match for the voice actors singing wise. So it was so good to just be able to hear those songs live exactly like you know them. So that was really impressive. One thing I had noticed before I went is that it had been criticised by a lot of theatre critics for being overly pantomimey. Now, the next section's not going to make much sense for anyone outside the UK, but bear with me, because anyone in the UK, you know what pantomimes are, so you can stick it out with me. So for the most part, I disagree. I don't think it's bad, the pantomiming aspects. That's for the most part. And let me just go into it. Jafar is a very pantomiming villain anyway, if you think about it. If you compare him to all the pantomime villains you've seen, the things that movie Jafar says are quite pantomimey. The way he acts, those really arched eyebrows, they're all pantomimey. So for anyone who's not familiar with the Disney cartoon, yes, Jafar might come across as pantomimey, but he's also a replica for cartoon Jafar, so it's fine. It works really well for the production. The other thing that's quite pantomimey is they break the fourth wall a lot, which is mostly Genie. It's mostly Genie that breaks the fourth wall, and I think if movie Genie could break the fourth wall, he definitely would. Think about it. Like, how many gags and puns would movie Genie make towards the audience if he could? And I think he, to an extent, movie Genie does, but it's quite impossible to break the fourth wall in a movie. So stage Genie is going to take advantage of that. He's going to break the fourth wall, and I think it works really well for him, and it's just pretty cool. Like, they do it so it's somewhere between pantomimey and stagey. This makes sense in my head. The one thing that I think crossed the line pantomime wise is in High Adventure, when Aladdin's three friends are individually taken by the guards, and then one of them will notice, but then they'll go back to what they're doing. It's almost an exact replica for We'll Have to Do It Again Then, Won't We? Whoops! Now I sound really mad to anyone outside the UK, but you my fellow Brits, you know what I'm talking about, so it's fine. Like, that was the only moment for me I felt went too far, but mostly I think it worked really well for them. I don't think it was overly pantomime-y, but I think for anyone who wasn't familiar with the Disney cartoon, it could definitely come across that way. But for the most part, it worked for the style they were going for. The final thing I have in my notes is that Genie is fabulous. I feel there were so many ways they could have presented Genie on stage, and the way they did it was so good, just having this larger-than-life personality. And he was hilarious, he did everything Genie was meant to do, and yeah, I really loved it. My favourite Genie moment is in Friend Like Me. He breaks out into another Disney medley. It starts with Tale as Old as Time, and I thought that was it. I thought that was the gag, so I was laughing a lot at that anyway. And then he continued into songs like Part of Your World and other classic Disney songs, and it was hilarious. I was in hysterics. I loved it. And I wasn't expecting it at all, which I think made it even funnier. But overall, the show was incredible. I definitely recommend it to any Disney fan or any theatre fan. It only just opened, and if you look at something like The Lion King that's been on the West End for years, you'll definitely have time to go and see it at some point. I'll just show you some of the things we bought. We ended up buying both the programmes, the little one with all the information in and the big one with the glossy pictures. Usually we don't do this at musicals, but Aladdin's special, you know? And I also bought these bracelet sets. I've kind of taken them out of the packet and put them back in, which is why they look a bit of a mess, but they looked better beforehand. And also, I know there's going to be a lot of people excited about this, so I thought I'd give you a heads up because I didn't know they were selling these. They were selling pins. That's like proper Mickey back and everything, so Disney fans, you gotta look out for that at the merch stand. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've seen Aladdin, Broadway, West End, anywhere in the world, give me a comment down below, let me know what you thought. I'd love to start a conversation about it because I enjoyed it. Check out my social network links, they'll be in the description as usual. Share this video with your friends so everyone can see it, and most importantly, if you want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe. Bye!